8 weeks on from the attacks on southern Israel, Israeli organisations and the police are gathering horrifying accounts of sexual violence on October the 7th, perpetrated by Hamas, Islamic Jihad and possibly other Palestinian groups and individuals who crossed through the border fence that day. Yael Sherer is from the Survivors of Sexual Violence Advocacy Group, which works with female and male victims.
It started on the 8th, where first responders started to talk about it because they were the first ones to arrive at the scenes. And that was the first time that it started to maybe be a little bit talked about. And nobody was sure what was going on, if it was going on, where, and how many people are we talking about?
Well, what has been learnt then? What are the conclusions that you have drawn now, 8 weeks on? First, on what the state of the bodies tell us.
First of all, what we learn is that there was sexual violence and rape in these communities in the south of Israel, these rural villages, these farms, and also we do have reports of sexual violence from the 2 music festivals that were there during the holiday. We do have now eyewitnesses that the police has interviewed already, and first responders, of course. And we do now have a few living survivors, not a lot, of both genders. So it didn't only happen to women, it happened to men as well, and that's very important to say.
And the other evidence that is there from what the first responders saw of the bodies, what did they see that leads to the conclusion that there was sexual violence and rape?
You can imagine these are not easy descriptions. Aside from finding bodies that are of people who were murdered, a lot of the bodies were mutilated, and Hamas terrorists made sure to disgrace these people and dishonor them in many ways. So we did see a lot of violence towards the bodies after death, kidnapping of bodies and abuse of bodies. But we did also see people who were naked, and that didn't happen after death. We also saw people that were bleeding. We saw people that were tied down to furniture with zip ties and not clothed, of many ages.
What is the status of investigations? I know that there's an Israeli civil commission. Clearly other organisations and the police are looking into it. What do you hope for internationally?
The police has started collecting evidence and eyewitness testimonies, ballistics, weapons. Also, we do have many of the terrorists that were alive when they were caught, they were arrested, and are now being questioned. And we'll see what happens, but that is going to be the biggest investigation that Israeli police has ever conducted. Just think of the crime scenes, more than 1,000 crime scenes with bodies. It's something that we've never seen before.
Yael Sherer from the Survivors of Sexual Violence Advocacy Group. Thank you.
Thank you.